Okay, I'll be totally honest. I really don't have energy to do this Daf Yomi, but I learned this week the Kala said that there's a bracha that comes when you learn Torah when it's difficult. So I'm going to push myself to do the Daf. It's not terribly long, not particularly short either. But let's work on this Daf. The question was about an animal that was used for a sin, whether or not it could be brought as a sacrifice. The answer is it cannot. And what about the child of such an animal? So the question is, if the sin was committed before the animal was pregnant, it would seem it might be okay, might not, but if the animal is pregnant, if the animal became pregnant and then the sin was committed, then everyone agrees that you cannot offer this on the altar. There's some who say, Vitmar Allah, this is how it says, that the argument is where the sin was committed and then the animal became pregnant subsequently. But if the animal became pregnant and the sin was subsequently committed, then everyone agrees it's prohibited. So this story, which we started in yesterday's daf, to speak about the wheat that was worshipped, is similar to the case where the animal was pregnant and then the sin was committed subsequently. Hachi hashta. Is that really similar though? Hasam meikara behema hashta behema. Because the question was, if the wheat was worshipped, and it's ground into flour, and can that be brought to as a sacrifice? So is there really a similarity here? The animal didn't change. Started as an animal, ended as an animal. Deshu dechiza achida ba'anpa hacha mikar chita v'ashta kimcha. When we come to this issue of the grains that we're talking about, they closed on their face right here. It started off as wheat and ended off as flour. So Rish Lakish asked, what about the following case? If someone worshipped a palm tree, would you be allowed to use the lulav to fill the mitzvah of lulav on sukkah? No, I don't feel well. Elon should not be chil lekach. Okay, so for a tree that was planted as an ashera, as an idol, there's no question, because for even a secular use it's prohibited. But what if the tree grew on its own, or it was planted but without any intent of idolatry, and in the end the tree was worshipped? Leave the Rabbi Yosef or Yehuda like Tobalach. So follow Rabbi Yosef or Yehuda, there's no question. The Fila Hadjit Nami Asar, because according to him, even for secular use, it's also prohibited. The question is only according to the rabbis, who hold that for a secular purpose it is permitted. But what about for mitzvah? Does it become disgusting for a heavenly use or not? When Reb Dimi came from the Holy Land to Babylonia, he said, what about the case of an Asherah, a tree that was planted for a religious purpose that was prohibited, and so therefore, even for secular purpose, it's prohibited to have any benefit. And in the end, the pagan or any Gentile would come along and say, this tree is no longer an idol. So the question that we have here is, when it comes to an issue of a mitzvah, can we say it's pushed away? That since it was declared prohibited to have any benefit from it, so then it's pushed away, you can't do the mitzvah, or not, that it's only for a korban, for a sacrifice in the temple, that you have a din of dichoy that's pushed away, but for other mitzvahs, not. So tivshat lei midasnan kisov neskala patum l'chaseis. Maybe we can compare it to the following issue. There's a mitzvah of kisi adam, that after you shecht a bird or a wild animal, the kosher wild animal, you have to cover the blood. So what if you had covered the blood and wind came and uncovered it? You don't have to go and recover it. Kiso or ruach chayv l'chasos. Meaning, because the first case, you already did it. But what if you didn't have a chance to cover the blood yet, and the wind came and covered the blood, and the human being didn't? Then chayv l'chasos. Then the human being still has to go and fulfill the mitzvah of kisi adam, even though the blood became covered on its own. That this teaching that you have to cover if the wind covered it is only if the wind uncovered again. According to Rabbi Rechana, according to Rabbi Yechanan, if it didn't go back and become revealed, then you don't have to cover it again. But then you're going to ask, what if it did go back and uncover it? What happened? Why should you have to recover it? Because it pushed away idche. The mitzvah was pushed away already. Omar Papa Zeis Imeres Ein Dicheletz al Mitzvahs. So that shows that there's, according to Rav Papa, there's no such thing as pushing away with the mitzvahs. The Rav Papa Gufei violate. But Rav Papa himself, we have to ask this question. Mif Shito Rav Papa. So it's clearly something Rav Papa is teaching. Rav Papa clearly teaches there's no such thing as being pushed away by mitzvahs. Whether it's to be lenient or to be strict. Or maybe there's a doubt. So if it's a strict case, Amrin Lakula. And then we say if it's strict, then there is no Amrinan, then there is no. We do say there's no such thing as being pushed away. But when it's to be lenient, then he doesn't say dicha. He doesn't say that the mitzvah was pushed away. Take him. We don't have a clear answer. Boy of Papa, so Papa asks like this: Mishtachel v'hemet samar l'schelis. So Rav Papa asks, what about if someone worshipped a sheep? What would be the law of its wool for the mitzvah of techelis? So Gemara asks, techelis to mai. Which techelis? Which mitzvah of blue wool? Techelis l'kahanim? Are we talking about the priests in the temple? They had to wear blue garments. Hainu be'ina baya the Rabbi Bar Chama. That's the problem of Rabbi Chama. Techelis l'tzitzis. If it's the chelos in the sister, I know by Reish Lakish. That's the problem. Reish Lakish. So no, it's of course. Loi havim avaya leva high the kabaya leha shemdika miludach nasa. So we're not asking. So we're going to ask another question. Samal is chelos. Karnel Model Chatzaitzers. The wool could be used for tchelis. Could the horns be used for trumpets? What about the trumpets they blew in the temple? What about the leg bones? Can you use for flutes? Aros. Can you use its intestines for strings for string instruments, for a harp? Aser. According to let's stop this here.